Alrighty, everyone. Well, tonight I would like to take an opportunity to show you something I've been working on here for the past 2 days, and it is my crypto tracker. Now, you probably think, oh, it's just a Google Sheet. Well, this Google Sheet's a little advanced, okay? And this can either help you track your stocks or it can help you track something else. So let me go ahead and open up the crypto tracker so you can see what's going on here. So as you can see, we kind of have stats on cryptos right now. You might have just noticed one of these things changed, and you might even notice, uh-oh, he's going down. But that's how much I've spent in cryptos. That's how much I currently own. So we're only down by $2. Nothing to bitch about. You also notice we have several graphs here. Now, what are these graphs? These graphs kind of show the lifetime of how my cryptos have worked. So as you can see, CKB, we kind of got all the way up to $8 at one moment. Crow has actually gone up to $8. Ethereum, it's kind of been up and down. We'll see what happens. The Gala and the Poly, these two, the graph's kind of messed up right now. So let me go ahead and fix this real fast while I'm looking at it. Min -2, max 10. Same with Poly. Minimum -2, max 10. Okay. So now we kind of have all my graphs here. We also have one other graph, which is overall earnings. Now you can see at one moment I actually made it all the way up to $15. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, he's probably having to record all this every single day. Actually, these stats come every single hour, and I have to do nothing with it. So if you notice at the bottom of the screen, we have earning history, CKB, Crow, Elon, Ethereum, Gala, and Poly. Okay, these are the current cryptocurrencies I currently have money in. This is how much I have invested. This is how much I actually own out of the unit based off of how many units are owned. So transferred to USD, United States dollars. How much have I earned? I've earned 60 cents. I've earned $3.02. $3, I guess you could say. And I've earned 38 cents. So some of these were going up on, some of them were going down. Am I worried? No, because hey, that's just the way investment works. Now, if you notice, we have the amount paid. This is how much I've actually paid. So this is kind of something else. Web link. This is very important. This is the link to find the facts live. So this actually takes me to crypto.com. Now, why is this important? Why do I need it? Well, one, I could just click on it and go see the lifetime facts. But two, it is required to get this and this. So these two numbers. In order to get this, I actually had to, or actually, in order to get all of this, I actually had to collect this from that web link. And that's something I'm about to show you how to do here in a bit. But let me show you what all these other pages are doing. So the CKB, well, actually, let's go to the Crow, because I believe the Crow, Crow's actually down, but let me show you what's really going on here and how these graphs are working. So I'll click on CKB. This is supposed to be a live graph, and what the graph is of the center line here. Okay, so the earned USD. So if I double click here, I need to change this to the -2 and 10, enter. Okay, so I'll just drag my graph over here just a little bit. Now you can see, okay, we have all these stats. Well, all these stats are by the hour. How much have I earned? Okay, so at one time I was up to $6. Another time I was up to $8. Crazy, right? You can see all the way down here. This is the hourly stats. Looks like on the 27th at 17:38, I was up to $8. Magical. But look at where we are now. The last time stats were recorded was at 3:38, so we should see a update happening here soon. At 3:38, we recorded 3.446. And currently at this moment, at least when I started the application, we were at 3.002. Now this actually shows my accurate US dollars, like how much total I have, and that's primarily taking how much did I start at and um, transferring it. Now all this, you might notice it's hourly, and usually it takes place right around the same time. It looks like one time we had a little early run or something else happened. Other times we're at like 25 after, so and so. But usually it's always at the same minute. So it's every hour at the same minute, pretty much. Now I'm about to show you how this is done, and it requires some programming, but don't worry, it's really simple. Earning history, this is overall earning history. You kind of see like this is all the cryptos combined, and this is coming off the front page. And you can see we actually did get over $15 at one moment, but then we just dropped. Now, I just started doing these investments like 2 days ago. That's why I made all this, because I wanted to track how am I doing? Am I doing good? Am I doing bad? Now, never just throw money in and then just take money out because, oh, you're up at $15. Just put it in for the long run. In fact, right now I heard that Ethereum is supposed to actually be doing a big explosion, even though at the moment I've lost $3. Okay, am I worried? No, because according to experts, they said that we're supposed to have an explosion. All right, let's get to the magic here. The first thing you need to do is find a web link where your coin is actually stored, or where your item is stored, where you can get your live data. But before doing that, why don't you kind of fix up your columns, like fix up your column titles. So all your row one, you have your title, code. Honestly, you could get rid of one or the other if you want. I decided to keep both. Your units owned, how much you own, amounts earned, amount paid. This is kind of important because it kind of helps track like how much you actually have now. Your web link, very important, and I'll show you why later. Your USD, so how many US dollars you have. The percentage, not really needed, and sometimes you'll notice you'll have bad readings. How much did you start at? And that's kind of important to also be able to track like how much do you actually have now. I don't 100% think it's really needed, but we'll be looking through that again. So once you have all this down, go through, go through column A. Make sure you put in, you can put in row 2 totals, and this is more like just counting the calculation of everything combined, seeing how much total did you pay, or how much total do you have invested now, how much total did you pay, how much total have you earned. Just put that down. Don't mess with anything else yet. Now in the title column, go ahead and put your titles down, because that is not any generated code. As you can see, it just says like Dodge Elon, Ethereum, Gala. Same with column B. Put in Crow, Elon, Ethereum, Gala, CKB, Poly, or whatever you have invested. Column C, leave this alone, okay? And let me show you why. I'm going to go to C3, and oh, never mind. Actually, leave column C alone. Don't worry about putting anything in here. You can put stuff in here. So put in how much you actually own. How much have you invested? As you can see in Crows, I have bought 152 units. In Doge Elons, I've bought, I can't really calculate that number, 10, 100,000, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, 10 million. I have 10 million units in Doge Elons. Ethereum's, you can see I bought 0.05, and look how much I actually spent to get that. 206.96 just for 0.05. That's because Ethereum is really expensive. Gala, this is more like a game unit, I guess, is what I found, but I found it's actually kind of growing. So I decided, all right, I'll put a little bit into that. Nervous Network, now they are doing a big expansion, so that's why I decided to get that. And as you see, we are already up to $3. CKB, here you go. One moment we got all the way up to $8. And I did notice like there is a little bit of a growing curve with them, so that's why I decided to go to them. You can't really see that here because this is like the last 24 hours. Polymath. This is something else that I saw kind of some growing potential in. I paid $8. I have 10 units. Okay, so put in how many units you own. Okay, fill this whole column out. All right. Now column D and column E, those are programmed. Okay, let me show you here. As you see, we have like F3 plus E3. We have the sum of the column, So D and E, they have code. Column F, put in how much you paid. Now, kind of wait on this. I would wait until you have everything in place on here. Just go ahead and leave it blank for now, because until we have everything else in place, you want to leave that alone, okay? Because you won't really see the record calculating until, like, and plus, unless you have this stuff actually written down on paper, you're not really going to see any changes. So, you're going to have to go to your, if you don't have any of this stuff written down, you're going to have to go calculate it. Now, F2 does have a calculation, so you can leave F2 blank, and I'll show you how to get the calculation of all this later. Column G, okay, so here, this you must do because it affects column H. Now, why does this affect column H? Well, column H, what it's doing is it's actually going to the website. So if you see G3 here, it's actually going to this website, and it's actually importing that number that you see here. So it's going to crypto.com coin. I'll click on that. So we're actually going here, and we're collecting this number. So this number is being collected. This is the actual value right here that is appearing in this page, okay? Now, is it the same one you're seeing at the moment? No, because this doesn't really generate constantly, okay? But this link is actually calling for this. Same for percentage. Leave column J alone for now, because when we put the amount paid, you must put where did you start at, okay? I don't really think it's too important because I don't recall having, yep, there it is. So column J is required for the math of column E, okay? So you must have your values, okay? So when you collect this number, make sure you collect this number. Now you could do that now if you want, I don't care. So you could open up your application, get this number and this number, okay? So how much does it show you have at the moment, and how much is that currency currently worth per unit? So per unit, when I paid 114.8, it was 0.7553, okay? Now, was it really that price when I started? No. It's when I started making this graph, I had to collect this information. The percentage actually also relies on column G, because it's actually grabbing another section of the web page, and that is actually this right here. No, that's this. Okay, so it's collecting that number and placing it in here. Is it really important? No, but I decided, you know what, let's just have it just to kind of peek at. Alrighty, so now this is the moment you've been waiting for. How do I import this number? Well, if you look here, you can see this is my controls. All right. Probably you're not using crypto.com. So I'll show you how you can do this on other websites. But for now, if you are using crypto.com to get your facts, go ahead and copy this code. Just pause the video, take it right now, put it in to where you want this code at, okay? Where you want to collect this number. Now let me explain something here. As you see, we have kind of two codes going on. You have the import XML. This is what's really important, but then you also see the substitute, okay? What's going on with substitute, if I leave that USD at the end, math cannot process because it's displaying this as a string instead of a number. So what you had to do when you transfer the value over, you actually transfer the full $, number, and USD. So the substitute is getting rid of the USD at the end so math can work. All right. So you have to make sure you have that USD, comma, and then the quotes. Next, the import XML. This is really where the magic happens, okay? So the import XML command, what it does is it reaches out to a website, and you can put that whole website in here, or you can put it in a separate column, okay? So I can copy this whole thing and just put it right here, but I decided I'm going to call upon a column so that I can click here, and I can actually open the web page if I wanted. Next up, we have the what we're looking for, okay? Now let me show you how I get this. In order to get what goes in here, you have to actually right-click on your item. Make sure you're doing this in a Google browser, okay? Make sure you have Google Chrome open for this. Right-click your item, okay? Right-click that US dollar value. I'm going to copy, or actually no, I'm not going to copy. I'm going to go down to where it says inspect here. Now, if you didn't know, what Chrome can do is Chrome can actually be used for development. I'll go ahead and hit inspect. And as you see, we have this item here. Now pay attention, you will notice that it constantly jumps back and forth between two values. It constantly says like, yep, you see there? See how it keeps changing back and forth? So this is a problem. This kind of causes delays in the code, but hey, it's working for me, okay? And it also causes this number to change. Let me show you something interesting. If I actually go over here, I can actually edit this number, and I can make it say what I want on this side, okay? This is kind of a trick that hackers actually use to edit things, but I can make it say hello, enter, and then you see, oh, it says hello. Now this is a trick hackers can use to make like to break into passwords and stuff. I can make it to where the website will advance if it will if I read hello. Now programming in websites has gotten more advanced now, so don't really worry about me doing that. But I'm just showing you how I can go on here and type what I want. Hello world. Enter, and boom, it just says hello world. But when the website does its update, you're going to notice that will change back. See? There you go. So primarily what you need to do is you need to find your item, and then you need to find the class, okay? You need to find what is this setup. First off, this is a span, okay? So SPAN, and then we need to find the class title. So as you see in my code, it says span, and then it says class equals, and then in quotes it says what the class title is. This is exactly what is written right here. So you're copying this area here, okay? So copy that. Now, say you went to another website, and I'll show you this with the next part, which is the percentage. If you notice in percentage, we're not looking at span anymore. So here's my here's this version. This one's looking at a P, which stands for paragraph, okay? So percentage is looking at a P for paragraph, but USD is looking at the span, okay? So let me go back here. I'm going to go to the percentage. I'm going to go to where I have my percentage at. I'm going to choose to inspect it, and there you go. You see the P? So make sure you get whatever is in front of that class title, okay? So whatever's in front of the class. So the P, and then you type in the class name. Just remember those two things. All right. And then once you have that fully filled out, so USD is primarily what you're looking at. Make sure you get rid of like any extensions. Make sure it's only the dollar value, okay? So if you went to another site and it has something else at the end, make sure you do the substitute because we want only numerical value. All right, so by now you should have had your information put in. You have all this set up to where now you can see your values pulled in from the website. So as you see, I have my values. They're coming in from my website displayed here. Next thing you can go ahead and do is we can go to the we can go ahead and go to look at how much do we own of the unit. So how much do we own? All right. So go to your stats, find how much do you own. So I own 152 units of Crow. Okay. Now look at how many US dollars it's currently worth. Like if you can. Okay. Otherwise, look at what is its current value, or what was its value at the time. And what you could do is multiply that number by that number, and that should give you the amount paid. In fact, in here, I could even type in, I can make it be equals, and I could say H3 plus C3. Or actually, no, not plus, times C3. All right, I'll make it be times C3. Make sure you use the star, not an X. And you can see we kind of have a value. Apparently, it's not quite accurate. So probably we did kind of have something a little different here. So we probably have a miscalculation going on somewhere. But you kind of see, yeah, we have a value. Probably this number isn't even like the right number. Oh, actually, sorry, that's the current value. That's the current amount. So let me actually do this. See, 113. Yeah. So we need to actually go with J3. That's what I'm after, J3. So J3 times C3. As you see, we have 114.8056. Looks accurate. I mean, this could be rounded up to 81. But I just decided I'm going to just say it's 114.8. So that's kind of one way you could do it. You can put this code if you want, put that into the amount paid column. One thing is probably say you want to do that for each one. You can just copy it, and then you can go to the next column and paste it. And you'll see that it automatically will calculate based off what row it is, as long as you started it off in the row that you wanted to calculate. All right. So I'll go ahead and delete this. Next major step we have to take. Let me just make sure we have something going here. Next major step we have to take, now that we've got this all set up, we're kind of starting to draw stats in. We're seeing how much I paid. Now we want to start looking at, okay, well, I've got all this now. I've got stats flowing in. I want to start seeing how much have I earned. So how much did I earn based off of the amount paid and how much I started at. The earned, you have to put in a calculation, kind of like we did to find this number here. Your calculation is going to be H3, or column H, wherever you put this. So H, so your US dollars. Now we're going to subtract the amount I started at. So how much did I have? How much is the unit currently worth? So one crow is worth 74 cents. And then I'm going to subtract my how much I started at. So this is either going to be a positive or a negative number. And after subtraction, we're going to see how much that is. I could put that in another column, say how much has it gone down since I started. But I don't care for that number. I just want to know how much total have I made. So H minus J, multiply that by how many units you have. Okay, so the difference times how many units you own. Okay, so whatever the difference is between these two columns, so how many US dollars it's worth and how many US dollars did you start at, multiplied by how many units you own. Okay, and that equals, or that'll equal how much you've earned. Now, as you can see, these two, they were a difference. So this came out, this minus this is a negative number. Now, when I multiply that by how many units, I get a negative number. Okay. Same for every one in this column except for E2. In E2, it's going to be a little different because we're going to calculate the total of this whole column. All right. A nice trick in calculation when you're doing in Excel and in Google Sheets, if you're trying to calculate multiple values, so either an entire row or just a column, what you can do is a command called sum. Okay, and that's what we have here. We have equal sum, and then we have E3 colon E. Okay, now I could just put a E on there so I can get rid of that E3, and it'll calculate everything, but it can lead to issues sometimes. So what I have to do is I have to declare what is the row that I want to start calculating at. Okay, so I want to calculate this down, and I want to calculate everything below this one. Okay, I could just say in here I could say E3 colon E8, and it'll calculate from here to here. It'll calculate that number to that number. But say I put something else, well then I have to go back up here and edit the code. Well, let's just do it to where we calculate the entire sum, that is everything from E3 down. So that's where that comes in. You can copy this same exact code. Okay, so you can copy this and put it in column D. As you see, it's just D3 colon D. Simple as that. Now let me get to this next step. The US dollars owned, okay? Primarily what this is we're adding how much did we start at plus how much have we earned, okay? So before you can make this this number work, you have to do the math in this one. Otherwise, this is going to show an error. So if you have nothing in this case, this will show an error saying, hey, something's missing. So do the math, put the math together in these, and then you can put the math in this, which is simple. It's just F3 plus E3, okay? So column F plus column E. You can have it be column E plus column F. Either way, it's going to come up with the same result. So now we have all this information. Next thing you're wanting is you want to know, okay, I want to have these awesome graphs. These graphs are kind of giving me a nice timeline. They're kind of showing me, hey, you were kind of going downhill. Here, you're kind of staying flat. But here, look at this. You went up and then you went down, you went up. I want to have access to graphs like this so I can kind of see what's happening. The Elon, hey, it looked pretty flat all the time. The Gala, it's pretty much been going downhill. So I want to see, okay, how do I track all this? I want to track how much I've earned. I want to track everything. Well, here's how it works. We have to go to, we're going to do earning history last because it is kind of, well, actually, we can do the earning history first because probably you don't care to track every single individual item. So let's look at earning history. So in earning history, you see that I have all these numbers and stuff. In fact, you can even see since we started the video, we did get another report in, which was at 438. At the beginning, this was here. Now, you're probably questioning, how's this happening? Well, don't hold your breath. I am going to show you. But first, you must put together this information. Okay? You must put together the date. Like, honestly, you don't really need to do this, but I'd suggest you do. Title your column, title your row 1, being date, US dollars, and how much you've earned. Okay? This is just to look back at. You could look and say, ooh, I see that. This is what's really going into the graph. Okay? This is going into the graph. And I'll teach you how to do the graph at the very, very end of this video. But, so after you've had column 1 set up, start putting column 2 in. Okay, column 2, why does this say current? Well, that's because this is the most up-to-date fact. Okay, this is the most up-to-date stuff. All this is just a record of what was in column 2. Okay, so everything that's down here, everything was originally in column 2 at the time it was recorded. Okay, so at 338 dot 16, this was here. This was here. Now, you're now questioning, how do I put this, like, how do I get these numbers here? I'm going to have to put all this code in. Well, no, you don't, okay? So to get this stuff, look at this. All I have to do is call upon the page. In this case, it's current. So I'm calling upon the current page. And then I'm calling where does it sit. So D2. Okay, it's caught on the current page in section D2. Look at that, 388. We'll go to current, D2, 388. An easier way to do this, just select the column, select where you want that number to go to your page, and then choose that cell. Enter. Well, hold on. First go to this, hit equal. Okay, equal sign. That's going to put it in hold. Go here, select your cell. Boom. Okay, now I can go back to the earning history. I hit enter, and there we go. It's that simple. Put the equal sign and then select the cell. So equal cell. Enter, done. Okay, that simple. Okay, so all you're doing, you're selecting your cell, put equal sign, go to the current page, and select that. For your earned, okay, put the equal sign, go to current, and choose the total earned. All right. So now these two things are appearing. Now you want to know, okay, well, how do I get this to happen? How do I get all this? How do I get this stuff to happen? Because all this stuff, let me tell you, I'm not coming back here by the hour. Why am I coming back here every day about the same time and sometimes at the very exact same tenth of a second? That's a waste of my time throughout my day. Well, it's all through automation. Okay, and let me show you how automation works. At the top of your page, okay, we're already on earning history page, okay? We're going to go to tools, okay? Click on tools and go to script editor. Okay, the script editor, this can do automation for you. Just select that. You're going to have a whole nother page that opens. Okay? Now the problem is I'm signed in as someone else. I want to switch who I'm signed in as. All right, continue. There we go. So now I'm in my script editor. Okay? So if you have multiple Google accounts, make sure you're in the same exact Google account that is editing this document. As you see, this is my IEEE account, which is an engineering association I'm in charge of. Not literally in charge, I'm a board member. But make sure you're in the same exact email, okay? Same exact. Now, as you see, we have all these things here. This big long code. Do not worry, you don't have to write all this down, okay? I'm going to show you exactly what you need to write down. So say you only want to track your earnings history. You don't want to track your earning history on every single coin. What you have to do is you have to copy this code. Okay? Copy this code, pause the video for a second, and put this in your script. Okay? Copy it to your script. So by now you probably have it copied, or else you're just watching this video just to learn. That's fine. Here's what you need to edit. First thing, you have to edit the function name. Okay, you don't have to if this is going to be the only thing you're doing, but say you're going to be tracking multiple pages. So say you're doing what I did, and I have like the CKB, the Crow, the Elon, Ethereum, all that stuff. Then it's important you make a different make functions for every time you're doing this. What I found is best, just name your function, the page title, and then or probably the page title followed by history. Like you can see here, the page title was the Crow, so I put Crow, and then I added history at the end. But here you go. So once you have your function name, you're going to go down to the earning history. You're going to go down here to where mine says earning history. Put the exact name of the sheet. Okay, so it says get sheet name. Okay, get sheet by name. So this primarily makes it so that it goes to that sheet. Next thing, we need to figure out, okay, what am I copying? What do I want to have copied? Here you're going to put the range, okay? So the range is going to be A2 to C2, okay? So column A, row 2 to column C, row 2. If you notice in these ones, we went column A, cell 2 to column E, row 2. So notice the difference there. That's because this one has a little more data that's being collected, and you'll see those in a second. But just finish putting this code in. Make sure you have that edited. The dates, you can get rid of this if you don't want to keep track of the date, but I decided I'm going to keep track of the date. You can just highlight that and delete it if you want, but I suggest keeping it so you can take a peek back at when was the data recorded. Okay? So now that we have all this done, we got we kind of have like all this data set up. So this is set up now. What you can do is go up here to this arrow, hit the down arrow, and then make sure that you have the code that you want selected. Okay, so in this case I want to work with the earning history, so click earning history and then hit run. Okay, what you'll notice is when you go back to your code, if you just look at the top, you'll notice that you'll have a row that looks like this. You can go back to it again. You'll notice you have another row that appeared. Do it again, another row appears. And pay attention to the time. You'll notice that every time you do it, it's at a different second. Okay? It's at a different second interval. So, now that that's working, you're pretty much good to go. So, from here on out, the next thing you need to do is you need to set it so if this is the only code you're going to have running, so you only have this, then what you have to do is very, very simple. If this is the only thing that's running, what you have to do is go to this little clock figure here. It says triggers. So click that. Now, I already have one set up, and I'll explain this more when I get to the next section here. But you're going to go to Add Trigger. Choose the function. In this case, we were doing earning history. Then go to the event source and choose time driven. Okay. Now set it to how often you want. You can do by the hour, you can do by the minute, you can set it just to certain days, you can do it by the day, by the week, by the month. I chose by the hour. Okay, if you want to do by the minutes, you can. If you go by the minutes, you can look at like you can do every minute, every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, 15, 30, however many you want to do. I chose by the hour because it would be less data. So I go every hour, I could go every 2, I can go every day, or actually every half day, I mean. If you want to go every 24 hours, you have to choose choose by the day. But I suggest every hour. Failure notification. So in case your code fails, go to notify me immediately or however you want. I say go to notify me immediately because honestly, it's going to be very seldomly that you'll have an error. Once you're done, hit save, and it will be added to the list. Now, let me explain in the code that I have written. You notice at the very top here, I have this function run. Now, what's happening here is this is the function I'm actually calling on in my timer. Did you notice that? The function is called run. So why do I have this run function? This run function, what it's doing is it's actually calling all the other functions and telling them all to run. If I don't make this function, what's going to happen is I have to make a different trigger for every single function. So I have to go into triggers, I have to make CKB. Go to triggers, create crow history. Go to triggers, create earning histories. And every time I make a new function, I'd have to do that. Well, here's the trick. All you have to do is write your function. Okay, so if I wanted to track the earning history alone, then I don't have to do this. But say I want to track all of these. I want to track the history of CKB. I want to track the history with Crow. I want to track the history with Elon. Okay, so I want to track all this. Well, I have to create a separate function for every single table. Okay, so you'll notice CKB. That's another chart here. You'll notice the Crow. That's another one. See how this goes? Then we have the earning history table. Then we have the Elon table. So you see that? Elon, Ethereum, Gala, Poly. So for every single function you create, you have to go back here and you have to add whatever the title of the function was, okay? Don't put function in the front. All you have to do is copy this along with the parentheses, okay? So copy that CKB history, paste it, parenthesis, parenthesis, and then put a semicolon afterwards. Now, in your triggers, just make sure you put that one function in, okay? That one function, so go in here, make sure you put it to whatever the function was called. In my case, as you saw in the code, I called it run, okay? And that just means run the code, all right? So, simple as that. And what's going to happen is every time this gets triggered, what's going to happen is it's going to go up here, run this line. Okay, I'm going to do all this. Then run this line. Okay, that one's saying do all this. Run this line. Okay, that code's saying to do all this. So on and so forth. It's going to do every single one. If I had 20 more of these, all I have to do is have them all in here, and I don't have to edit this at all. No more added, just this one function runs. And it causes less strain on the entire system. So that's awesome. Earning history, that's done. CKBs. Okay, this kind of the same exact code. We're pretty much done with the coding now, so you can go ahead and close this out. But make sure before you actually do put the triggers in and stuff, before you add triggers, make sure you actually hit the save button. Unlike most Google applications, this actually requires you to save the project. Okay, so save it. All right, so now let's go to our individual coins or individual stocks. Okay, so I'm going to start with the CKB. I'm going to go to my current line. I'm going to make sure I have all my data put in here. So we have the one line. This doesn't have a code. All it is saying this is my current data in this line. So you can put that there if you want. Owned US dollars. Okay. So what this is doing, it's going back to the current page, and it's going to the CKB line. So it's going to CKB, and then it's going to owned US dollars. It's going to this page here. So 37512, 37512. Okay? So this is pointing back to that first page and saying, give me your information. Same with this. It's going back and collecting that. The unit value, it's actually going to, in order for math to work properly and show the entire value, you have to actually substitute. Okay, so we talked about substitute earlier. In this case, I want to substitute the dollar sign because if the dollar sign is in front, this will appear in hundreds instead of however many decimals are required. So if you know hundreds, that's kind of a sample of what this is. This is 100, 100th, and you kind of see this one. Its full value is this, but math kind of jinxed it. You can hit this arrow here. Make sure you go to format, or actually no. Click your column, go to this number here, more formats, and choose automatic, and it'll bring up the full decimals that is currently set. All right. If you leave the dollar sign up front, then you're going to see only 2 decimals. So don't leave that dollar sign, otherwise this isn't going to show the full value. Percentage, you don't really need it. It's still calling upon. If at the time that the data was recorded, the percentage wasn't reading properly, then you will get nothing. So you're going to get false values. So that's why, honestly, I don't really care for the percentage sitting there. I mean, hey, it gives me an idea, but a lot of times it gives false value. And you already saw how the code works. I already showed you how that works in there. So pretty much you should be all set. Just remember, create one function for every single table. Make sure you get your data range. So in this case, A2 through E2. You see A2 through E2. Why do I include that A2 is because we also have to include where the one section is going. If I had it be in B2 and I said I want the date as well, then the date's going to jack everything up. So we are now pretty much set. Last thing we need to worry about is our graphs. So probably you want to just get a visual fact of the data rather than scrolling all the way down over time and looking number by number, being like, oh, well, it went up to here, then it went down to there. You want to just get that quick glimpse and see like, okay, that's what happened. Because over time, doing this hourly, after about like a week, this is going to look this will look uh, like an eyesore. All this would be an eyesore. Meanwhile, this is going to look like a more compressed graph, kind of like if I go to crypto.com here and I close out the editor, we want it kind of looking more like this. So after about a week or so, this graph will look more like this graph. So yeah. And this is the entire lifetime, okay? This isn't just going to show by the week. This will show entire life from when you started until current. So as long as it's recording the data. So in order to make the graph, what we have to do is we will select the value, what we want to track. In this case, I want to track the earned US dollars. Okay. And then we're going to go to the graph icon here, insert chart. Click on that. And then it's going to pretty much just create a chart for you. Sometimes you do have to go in. We got to edit some things. So in this case, because we're always adding data, if we left it by suggestion, it's only going to show that, like, how much data we have. So if I only had 20 lines of data, it'll only show me 20 lines of data, and as more data comes in, the graph won't progress. So what you need to do is you need to go here to where it says data range, click on that, and make sure it says colon, and then whatever the column is, okay? Hit enter. Now it would pretty much go up to 999. When it does that, when it gets to that value, say you went past that 999, go ahead and do it again and it should progress even more, okay? Next thing to do is probably go up to, while you have your graph open, click this column here, and then go to the minimum value and maximum value. As you saw in my other graphs, I said I want to go -2 through 10. Okay, you can make it be higher if you feel like you've earned a lot more. So probably, say in a year, this graph exceeds the 10. I can set that to be probably 15 or 20, however the graph is moving. The next thing, I want to probably change the fact that it says earned US dollars. You can click on that, go here, and I'm going to put the code, which is CKB in this case, and then it'll change that. So now the graphs are all done. We're pretty much set. You can see this graph looks exactly like this graph. What I could do now, I'm going to delete that one because this already exists. Now I want to be able to, while I'm on my current page, like when I'm looking at live history or just live facts, I want to be able to just look at all my charts together rather than go to this one, be like, okay, that's how that one's working. This one, be okay, that's how that one's working. This one, okay, that one, okay, that one, okay, that one, okay. What I want is I want to actually show all this live on my current page. So what I have to do is I have to go to my graph. I have to click on it once, right click on it, and I want to copy it. Okay. So what I can do is we click, hit the dots, copy chart. Okay. Then go to your live page and then right click and hit paste. And there's our graph now. So there's our graph we created. I'm deleting it since it already exists right here. And then just go ahead and, once you have all your graphs, kind of shrink them down to the size you want. This I felt was kind of suitable for me because what I do. And then you can also see like my live earned, which is everything combined. Uh, Kind of needs edited. Kind of put this chart be a little higher, but the way you made this, it's the same as the other graphs. You just have to select the column you want, and then choose the data icon. Okay, insert chart. In this case, because my lowest value seems to be -3, oh no, it's all the way down to -6. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and click on my chart. I'm going to double click the column, and I'm going to change that to be probably -10. There we go. Now we got a better glimpse of my graph. So there we go. So there's my lifetime graph. I'm going to go back to my current page. I'm going to do that same thing because I want to just do that. Click that. -10. There we go. So as you see, my graph's kind of going up and then it went back down, but we'll see what happens over time. If you know most cryptos, they constantly rise over time. So some of these, they're not just for here and now. Some of these I'm expecting to grow over time. Crow, this is the actual crypto.com coin. So this I expect to really grow over time because we are expecting that big event to happen here soon. Like if I look at the lifetime, look at that. We just recently had an increase. Okay, this just recently went from down here all the way up to here, but then it dropped down again. 6 months, as you see, we're kind of reaching this little curve. Okay, this curve, usually when this curve appears, that's because there is something about to happen. Okay, when this curve starts hitting, something big is about to happen. So we can expect this to kind of grow here shortly. So let me actually even pull up. Let's look at Bitcoin. So if I pull up Bitcoin, uh, let's actually click here. Bitcoin, BTC. If I go to its all-time life, this was where it had its big hit. Okay, so this is the first big hit that we had, was in 2016. So here's where it was kind of low. It kind of started doing its big growth. 2015, it was already worth quite a bit, but if you look at how it happened, you'll see there's that little bit of a curve there, and then we have this curve. Okay, now granted, it did drop back down quite a bit. Now it's going back up. It kind of had another little spike here, then flattened out, but now here's the ultimate spike, which was predicted once. As you see, September 7th was when that started. October 5th is when it continued. So look at this. September 14th, October 12th. So if you would have bought something around this time, look at how big it spiked right away. And this curve was what you needed to look for, that little curve. So by now, you should be all set up. You shouldn't have any other problems. Again, this is just like kind of how you set it up. This table, let me change this to -4 now, because I think, yep, there we go. So you will, every so often, you might have to change your tables and graphs. Like this one, I think it was down to -6 at one time. There we go. Crow, yep, there you go. So as you notice things go down, just edit your graph, okay? That's all it is. Edit the graph. -6. Boom. All right. And let me also show you with Ethereum, because this is what I was saying earlier as to why I bought Ethereum, and you see that it's going down. All time, Ethereum has been kind of crazy, but experts are saying that judging by this graph setup, we are about to experience something big. With how it's growing, it's kind of the same way that Bitcoin behaved. So we can expect a massive, massive explosion here to happen, according to some big time experts. This is just the beginning of the big peak. Okay, they said the beginning of October, I believe, is when they said try to get on here before December 1st. Okay, get signed up before December 1st. And in my case, that's in about 3 days. So that's why I'm on there. I'm hoping they're right. These guys have been correct most of the time, like most predictions they've made. So I'm just going to go ahead and follow them. I'm going to just say, like, you guys are experts. I'll go ahead and take your word for it. We'll see what happens. So, fingers crossed right now. I mean, you kind of see we're kind of going down, but hey, you can expect that before a big storm. Here's actually in the last hour how everything's been going. So it looks like it's had some ups and downs. But I'm not tracking that much data. All I want is by the hour. That's it. So at this moment, you should either be an expert in Excel or Google Sheets. You now know how to collect data from websites. And just to help you out, I will go to another, like just to bring this back up, just to show you again how this really works. Okay? Just because you probably are just decided I'm just going to use crypto.com. Let's use another cryptocurrency tracker. So we'll go to cointracker.io. Let's see. All right, so we have Ethereum right here. We'll go to the Ethereum here. I can highlight that, and I can right click on that and inspect it. Okay. So one problem with doing this is this could change. This could be rearranged and cause issues for me. So if I can find their website, like a website that's directly linked to that item, that'll help more. So is there a direct website? Let me see. Let's try another website. Toe tracking. Let's go TradingView probably. Does that show me live data? That's like a sample of a website. Charts that move markets. This is live charts on the markets. This is an application. Let's find. I tried Coin Tracker, CoinStats app. That's probably an application. How about stock tracking? Okay, we'll go to online portfolio tools. Let's see. Can I find? I just want to find some live stats here. That's all I'm after. Jeez. Oh. All I want is some live stock market facts. Here we go. This seems to be something useful. Let me see. Can we find TSLA? TSLA stock. There we go. So in this case, we have Tesla. We're tracking their stock at the moment. We see we have current value. Now I believe I can right click on this item here. Now, do I really want to do this? No, because we're on the Google page. Let's actually see, can we get to, what do we have here? This looks better. We have a full-on market page. Oh, this is Google Finance. Okay, so find Google Finance. Let me go to Tesla. There we go. So now I'm on the Google Finance page for Tesla. As you see, we have some facts here for the Tesla financial performance, I guess. News about Tesla, what's going on in the news. And it looks like they ain't been doing too well for the past 2 hours, I guess. Let's look at over 5 years. Look at that. They've been going up. Past year, year to date, all-time history. Yeah. So 2020 was when they were really started hitting the boom, but I mean, yeah. But look at how much they've grown. That's quite a bit. So if you would have had started early, you would have had quite a bit in them. I wish I got started early, but anyway, let's go to our current stats. We're gonna right click on this item. So we're right clicking on our stat. I'm going to go to inspect. Now, let me see here. If I highlight that item, inspect. There we go. Now we got something better. Now if you notice when I hover over this, we kind of see the value. This kind of almost looks like the same code that I had on this page. Okay. Well, here I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay. I'm going to copy the code here. I'm going to put it down here. And I'm going to edit this in a second. I'm going to put the website over here. I'm going to go to this web page. I'm going to copy this, control copy, Google Finance. I'm going to paste that here. Okay. So this is E39. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. I'm going to make that be E39. Okay. So we have the website in place. I'm going to get rid of the substitute factors because we don't have that US dollar ending. Over here I have to get rid of all this. Enter. Now the next thing is we have to edit this area. So if I go to my web page, we see we're in a divider. So I'm going to go here. I go to div. Okay. And then I go back here, our class. I'm going to copy that and take it back here. Okay. So we have this all copied. Hit enter. It's going to load and boom. Looky at that. Delete that. Oh, what's going on is this is also carrying data. Or is it? I guess the code is carrying it. But as you see, we called the divider. We called the class, which is this class here. So what import XML is really doing is it's going to the website and then it's saying, so go to the website first, and then it's saying, okay, now look for a divider. Find me a divider where it has this class. Okay. So it's opening up the code. It's going through it all the way down, saying, I'm going to find you a divider. Okay, I found this divider. Does it have the class? No. I found this divider. Does it have the class? No. Well, I found this divider now. Does it have the class? Yay, ding, ding, ding. I found the class I'm after. So now I'm going to take whatever is inside that divider. Okay, so it's taking this number here. So I copied that and it moved it. So I copied it. Now it's in here. So there you go. That's just to prove that you can use any website. Okay. In fact, I could change that web link to another thing in Google Finance. Because most likely in Google Finance, every page is the same. Only difference is it's looking at something else. So let's try Dow Jones. Okay. I'll copy this link. C. And then I go to this. I'm going to change this link. V. It's going to reload. Boom. We have new data. So that kind of samples how you can do everything. All right. So this just proves you can use it for different types of portfolios. You can use different types of websites. All that you have to know is how to find how to get that data. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you learned quite a bit from me. I know the video was really, really long. In fact, the video has been almost an hour and 5 minutes. Because yeah, there was a lot to learn. We had to go through how to create your document, how to put all your data here, how to collect data that from websites. So we copied this and this. Then how can we take that data and process it how we want? So we needed to process how much we earned and how many dollars is it currently worth, how much current US dollars do I own. Then we needed to decipher, okay, how do we collect data so we could see our timeline on how much we actually earned. So same with this one. So I hope you learned something. Uh, this was a great discovery for me. I learned a lot when I was doing this because honestly, I had no idea really how to get data off of websites. Um, a friend of mine, a coworker, he actually even told me like he did this. He used the same collection formula that's used here, the import, to actually keep track of video game prices. He had a wish list that he made in an Excel document where he went to selected websites like probably Amazon. He went to like some page. He found the item he wanted in his wish list. So let's say I go to my cart here and um, I have this Akai thing that I want. If I go to its website, I go find where its price is listed. I right click on that item, go to inspect it. I find its class. Um, so I make sure this is it. So yeah, I gotta find. This might be a little different actually. This might be a different line of code, but we can look here. This is also another thing. So this is also highlighting the same item. I could copy this, Control C, go to my document, put the web link. Let me copy this code again, Control C, put my code. Then I got to go to the class. It's a span with a off screen. So go back to this. We go um, edit it to be. We have to edit that substitute again. Get rid of substitute. Uh, it's a span, like I said. And then we go to copy. It says A off screen. Copy A off screen. Go back in here. I'll put that here. And then hit enter. Give it a second. Well, looks like it's not recording. But, I mean, hey, I wasn't expecting it to work exactly. Oh, plus not even looking at the right column. We need to find C40. So change that to C40, enter, loading. Oh, looks like I can't get the data. But don't expect it for every website, okay? It should work on a lot of websites. Probably my problem right now is probably I'm looking at the wrong thing. Probably I should be looking at the span and then change it from class to area hidden. Uh, so like if I try that, probably click this span, uh, ARIA hidden, then probably it'll work. But hey, Don't expect magic every time. Just try it out, figure out if it works. If it doesn't work, no problem. If you continue to have errors, go ahead and put in the comments saying you are having an error. To find more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe to me. I don't make videos all that often, but when I make videos, they can be very educational, either to you or to someone else you know. But this was made primarily for those looking at the stock markets or wanting to get into stock markets, or probably you're just wanting to track data. So this is just great things. You probably just want to copy data from other websites, whatever. I don't care. Probably want to keep track of weather in certain areas. You can do that too. You just got to know how to record the data off the website. And I showed you how to do that with 3 different websites. So you should be a genius by now. Thank you for staying through this video. If you watched the whole thing, kudos to you. I am done for the night because it is already 5:33 in the morning for me. And primarily the only reason why I'm up that late is because I do work the night shift. This was just my day off, so I just decided to stay up just to keep that night shift schedule. Thanks for watching, and good night.